What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Coast2Coast podcast. It's finally NBA draft season. Today, we're bringing you our 2021 NBA mock draft. How y'all feeling today?
Doing
Fantastic,
just
man.
fine. Just ready for this draft. 1 day away.
I know. I'm so excited.
I'm hyped for the Kings to botch the pick for the 10th year in a row.
I'm hyped for the potential trades, man. There could be a lot of Ben Simmons could be traded tomorrow. Bradley Beal could be traded tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff that could definitely happen.
Yeah. The rumors I'm hearing now is Buddy to the Sixers, but
I like that for the Sixers.
Yeah,
What would
could
y'all
we
get
potentially get Ben Simmons for that? Get a package for Ben Simmons?
No. I mean, if the Sixers turn down Brogdon, and if rumors are true, they turn down that Raptors package, then they definitely wouldn't accept Buddy Hield and whatever else.
Bro, that Raptors package, they were bugging. Philly is crazy for that.
And then the Shea Gilgeous trade getting turned down. That's even crazier in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm calling a bluff on that one though.
Yeah.
Dude,
why would
what's
you-
up with that Raptors one? I mean, you get Van Vliet. Was it Van Vliet and Lowry?
What's it called? The Philly offered Ben Simmons in exchange for Van Vliet, Lowry, and the 4th overall pick. And
Dude,
he also threw in other pieces, but either way, it's just he's bugging.
That's a dope haul.
Yeah, but Philly was the one that offered it.
Oh, Philly offered. Okay, that makes you way more.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so,
dude, what? That would have happened if the Raptors offered it.
Yeah, Raptors were not fucking with that.
Yeah, heck no.
But let's get into this draft. First overall pick. I mean, we've all seen the headlines. Superstar potential, the most can't miss prospect in the entire decade. Elite playmaking, great shooter,
That's
complete
false.
prospect.
Sorry, that's false. There's Anthony Davis, but continue.
Was it Anthony Davis? Oh, he was 2012, 2013, huh?
Yeah.
But that's damn near a decade ago, bro.
Yeah, but still counts. Regardless, keep going.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, 20 PPG, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 40% from 3. I mean, he's got that 6'8" frame as a primary ball handler. That's pretty scary. I mean, he's only 19 years old, and he's going to the Pistons.
Yeah,
Can't go
I'm
wrong
here
with
for
the
that.
pick. Home run guy.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add to that. I mean, keep it simple, Detroit. This is he's the best all-around player. Take him.
Yeah. But moving on to the second pick, we got the Houston Rockets, obviously losing their big star player last season in James Harden, looking to replace him here. So, Carson, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, the Rockets obviously have a lot of potential. Kevin Porter Jr., he had that 50-point game, and he tore it up in the G League. Jalen Green also tore it up in the G League, so I'm going to take him. I just think, he just has just more superstar potential than Mobley, because I think Mobley would probably be, they're probably debating on which one of those guys to go with. But I think he's just a 18 to 20 point score right away, and him and Kevin Porter Jr. in the backcourt just could be really, really scary, and could be a dynamic guard duo. It's going to be one of the most dynamic young guard duos, but it could be one of the best in the league potentially. Just the upside with him is ridiculous and he's got the defensive upside too if he improves his frame a bit. The defense and the defensive mind will just get better and better as he's in the league for a little bit longer. But he's just a walking bucket already, man. And I'm super excited to see them together if this ends up happening. But I'm going to take Jalen Green. Superstar potential.
Great pick. All right. Moving on to the number 3 overall pick. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, they've got a young, I guess you can call it, core in Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, and Jared Allen. But obviously, they're still looking to add to it. They're still not very good. Obviously, they ended up at 3rd overall. So, Liam, take it away.
I mean, you're looking for that guy that can be a real star out there for them, a guy that I think is a two-way potential. I think you got that in Okoro, but what I see from Okoro is kind of, a regular 3-and-D, kind of like a Mikal Bridges kind of guy. And, you don't need a Mikal Bridges kind of guy to be your your second best player. You know, alongside, I think Garland's still got potential to develop. I'm just going to cut the chase. I'm taking Scotty Barnes here out of FSU. I don't know if he's going to end up in the spot in the draft, but I really have him. I have him ranked 3 on my big board. He's a super talented guy. Really, the only thing limiting him in his game is his jump shooting ability, which I think you can turn around. You know, he has the willingness to shoot them, unlike other guys we've seen, you know, like Ben Simmons, who people said were going to develop a jump shot, but never really did. You know, Barnes has that ability to go out there and take jump shots. We've seen it. He's been able to hit them in games. And, you know, with a team at FSU, you know, they really never give their guys too much chance to show themselves. So his numbers don't really jump out the screen to you. But, you know, he has that, you know, he prime Draymond Green. I really think it's his ceiling. You know, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more, you know, has the ability to get to the rim, but, you know, he can defend at an elite level. He can defend almost all 5 positions on the court. I think he's got to put a little bit of weight on. He can defend 5s, but he also has the ability to go out there and play make with the best of them. He's got to work on his decision-making at times, but, you know, that's with everyone. No one's going to be the greatest playmaker coming out the draft. So a guy, I think you saw him there at the 4. He's going to learn a lot from a guy like Jared Allen. I know Evan Mobley's been the consensus pick here, but I don't think Evan Mobley and Jared Allen work together. It's a twin tower situation, and twin towers aren't going to work anymore in this league, you know, unless they're, you know, Kristaps Porzingis-esque players that can handle the ball, or like Giannis's that can, you know, go out there and dominate playing the perimeter as well. So
or that AD and Boogie combo, because they're both like multi-skilled.
Exactly. But I don't think that, you know, Jared Allen has that offensive game to go alongside a guy like Evan Mobley. I think you got to look for fit here. You know, they're probably going to take the safe pick in Mobley. Can't go wrong. But I like the upside of Barnes. I think he's the 3rd best player in this draft when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for that. Barnes, like his floor is really like the Draymond, like Matisse Thybulle already. Like he's like that good defensively, and I think that's going to translate super well. Just the offense scares me, but I mean, you made a really good point. Like it's not like he's not willing to shoot it. Like his jumper looks good. Like he has good mechanics and stuff. He just wasn't really knocking them down. So that I just fear slightly that he's going to be like a potentially like a 0 on offense. But I mean, he's like his demeanor to his motor's crazy. Like he just like he gives a shit. Like him and Sexton are just going to give like 120% all the time. So I'd be excited to see that.
Yeah, bit of a curveball, but I don't think it's gonna affect my pick too much. The Toronto Raptors here at 4. I'm taking Jalen Suggs. You know, he's a beast defensively. He's got insane basketball IQ, can create for himself and others. You know, his only drawback has been his 3-point shot, you know, inconsistencies with that. But I mean, he hit one of the biggest shots in March Madness history, and we've seen him, you know, I mean, 33%. It's not bad at all. Definitely, you know, room to improve. But with Lowry on the way out, I think he'll add a great piece to their young core.
Yeah.
And that backcourt defensively of him and Gary Trent Jr.
Well, I think Van Vliet's going to be the starter to begin with, but I think Gary Trent's the long-term option. I think Van Vliet's a guy that can be a really great 6th man, even though I predicted Gary Trent to win 6th man of the year, because I think next year he'll be in that slot. But yeah, OG Anunoby's a super young guy. Pascal Siakam, as much as people want to hate on him, he's one of the best power forwards in the league. And they just got to find a center. You know, whether that be they go after a guy later in the draft.
There's always centers. There's always centers.
There's always someone out there.
Yeah, I love this. This is like my, honestly, like if this actually happens, this would probably be like my favorite pick, just because like it just fits whatever the Raptors want to do. Like, you know, whatever road they travel on. Like if they go to rebuild, then Suggs is like their primary asset for their rebuild, and he's gonna be NBA ready already. And then he has like star potential, like, and which is perfect for a rebuild. But then if they're still trying to compete, he fits right in because he's already going to be really good defensively and just like, you know, a really solid offensive player, like out the gate. He's NBA ready. Like he fits either path that they take. Like he's going to be their best player in a rebuild, but then he's also going to be able to contribute right away and play in the playoffs as a rookie and succeed. So like, he's like Jamal Murray that can defend for me. Like that's like his ceiling. I love Suggs.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, they brought some decent talent. I mean, Rui Hachimura is a guy that's going to turning out in the league. Domantas Sabonis is a multiple-time All-Star. I think they're really turning around as a program in terms of getting NBA talent out there. Ever since the Adam Morrison days, where people thought that Gonzaga was just kind of a wasteland.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, definitely
Kispert's
turned
coming
the
up too, so
program. Kispert. And next year they got Timmy coming out.
yeah,
Hope-
Chet's good, and then Chet will be coming through.
They'll keep getting top guys.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
We're moving on to this 5th overall pick. Carson, you've got the Magic pick. Obviously, Mobley's still on the board here, so where are you gonna go?
Yeah, so I have both Magic picks, so I'm feeling like I don't even know the Magic GM's name, to be honest. So with my strategy here is like with the 5th pick, I want to get someone that has like a really like high solid floor, like someone that is going to be productive right away, has like little like bust potential. Like at the worst, they're going to be a viable like NBA starter role player. And then with the 8th pick, I want to like kind of take a chance on potential. So this pick, like I did a mock draft that would have Barnes going here at 5, but since Barnes already went to the Cavs, I'm just gonna flip flop, and yeah, I'm gonna take Mobley here, who I'm not as high on when it comes to like the superstar potential that everyone's kind of like giving him, but I think like we talked about this on a previous episode, Jose. Like it does have a really really solid floor of someone that is going to be able to defend at a really high level. He's you can't abuse him in pick and rolls. He's a super quick feet. It's just going to be a defensive problem right away with like room to improve offensively. And I think with the Magic that it fits the bill of what the Magic kind of doing. Getting a lot of like defensive oriented guys. But I just think like with Mobley, like you kind of have to take him here. It'd be tough for him to fall past 5. And I just want that high floor and someone that I know is going to be able to contribute right away.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Mobley.
Being compared a lot to guys like Chris Bosh, Christian Wood.
Paul Gasol is the one I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be happy with and if he turns out to any of those players, that is fantastic.
That's a great pick. To OKC Thunder here at number 6. Got a few ways you could go here. I'll let you handle it, man.
Yeah, so I thought one that I've been seeing going around a lot. I mean, James Bouknight's trying to say him and Shea are going to be such a nasty backcourt together. I'm not super high on James Bouknight though. A little bit inefficient, but I see the CJ McCollum in him. A guy that can score. Has a good mid-range game, but CJ McCollum's a good scorer and all, but he's a guy that's been getting a lot of hate recently due to his playoff performance. And he's a frail frame, isn't really a great a great defender and all. But the pick I see here, I think it's got to be a home run pick. I'm going Jonathan Kuminga, from the G League Ignite team, a guy that I don't even have to look at what NBADraft.net says his comparison is to look at what he is. He's Jaylen Brown in my eyes. Didn't really have great efficiency, but that didn't really go for a lot of those guys in that Ignite team. Kind of the first run through it, we don't really know what those stats mean and any that, but he's 6'7", he's got a 6'11" wingspan. He has the ability to defend. Can rebound at a high level, 6'7", 220. So he's got some height on him. He can play a power forward hybrid, but I think he's got the best ability at small forward. You got Shea out there. Maybe are we running Kemba off the bench? I don't know, but probably Lou Dort. You got Jonathan Kuminga. You got Darius Baisley, and they got someone at center. I can't think of the name. I know they traded Moses Brown.
Roby? They're talking about Roby?
Yeah, they probably played Roby there. Yeah, but I know they traded Moses Brown, which I didn't like. But
me neither. I don't get that either. Moses.
But no, I think Kuminga and Dort have insane defensive potential together. I think Kuminga can learn a lot from Dort, a guy who took a big step this year in his production after having one of the best game 7s from a young player we've seen in a long time, making James Harden look like his little son. Even though Harden ended up winning that game, he switched roles with him in that game. He was the offensive powerhouse, but Kuminga, he has the physical abilities. He looks like he can be that next Jaylen Brown. Don't know if he'll be the all-star that he is, but, even if he's just like an 18-point per game, really focuses on that defense, it would be a good piece for this OKC Thunder team. And what's the GM's name again?
Oh, Presti.
Yeah, Sam Presti to land. You got to have some home run guys in these picks. We won't get into the later rounds, but, they got a 16th overall pick. They got the 18th overall pick. They got to get a home run guy here. I'm taking Kuminga.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this pick. And honestly, I don't really get like Kuminga's been getting a lot of hate, like closer and closer to the draft. He's like kind of fallen off a little bit because he was kind of like, guaranteed like top 4, top 5 guy. But I don't get it, man, because like you look at guys like DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, Jaylen Brown's like the best example out of all of them. Like he fits all those bills, like that type of player. So it's like you've seen it time and time again. Like why would you not take a chance on someone that has that similar build and it's showing like all the kind of growing pains and whatnots that those guys have had. And like I think he's barely going to be 19. He's extremely young. He should be going into college this year. He reclassified. Like he is the high school class of 2021. He just moved up. So like I love it. And like the Thunder, it fits their team perfectly. Like they're in no rut. Like they're in a fat rebuild. They're like massive signs saying we're in a massive rebuild. Why would you not take the chance on this guy? Because like Poku, that's another guy you don't know how he's going to turn out. It could be a star, could be not. But like Shea and Dort, I think those are two guys that are already like pretty proven. So you have the option to take a chance on a guy, and he'd fit right in there as a 3 with those two guys. Like I love this pick. Like the upside is insane, and they have the time to let him develop. And the Thunder have shown they're really, really good at developing young talent. So
yeah. And just kind of going on what we were talking about the center, I think Isaiah Jackson's a guy that, might slip out of the lottery. That would be perfect to have there at that 16 or 18 pick. And then like you were saying with the youth on these guys, we're not really old here on the pod, but there's 2 guys that we've already drafted in this mock draft that all of us are older than. I'm older than Jalen Green by just 4 days, but Kuminga's not even 19 yet, which is crazy to think that we're barely into our lives, and these guys are getting drafted for millions of dollars.
I don't know, man. The thing with Kuminga is like, he's got that upside, to be like that really long Jaylen Brown type of, 2-way guy, but he's also cut from that same like dangerous cloth where, his offensive game is so unpolished that regardless of how good his defense is, like he will never be, a star in the league or never really be able to get, significant minutes. Like a guy a couple years ago, they compared to Kawhi, Josh Jackson. And where's that guy at now? I mean, look at how quick he fell out. Yeah.
He's on the Pistons, though, and he averaged like 13 points a game.
That's the risk. Like that. Yeah. I think the Pistons. He was on the Grizz for a little bit.
He was on the Pistons this season, but nothing special, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I do get your concern, but it's like I think the Thunder, like they have they have enough time to be able to take a risk, and it's like they have the talent already to like take a bet. But I am here for that argument too, because there's like plenty of examples that like fit the guys that I've just mentioned that didn't hit. So it is a risk, but I think the Thunder, like they're in a position where it could be worth it, and they have all the assets that like next year's draft, 2 years draft, like they have the assets to potentially get a guy that is already super proven where they don't have to take a chance on someone like Kuminga.
I really love the Thunder's youth movement, but I saw some analysis thing about the Shea trade where it's like he doesn't fit the timeline. I was like, dude, he's 23. Like, is your timeline these like 5th graders that you've got the 2028 pick for or whatever? Like,
yeah, I think it's just because he like if they're really going all in on a rebuild, he like helps. He's against their chances of like being like a top pick because he'll win you a few games like by himself.
Yeah. I'd say the only thing to be worried about is if he wanted to leave because they are so poor. But I'd say if they've turned this around in 2 or 3 seasons, they're fine. Because I think they should be a Western Conference, top of the Western Conference in 3 years, in my opinion. Let's say they go out there, like say they get Kuminga next year in the draft, they still have a high pick. Let's say some shit goes crazy. They get Chet Holmgren, so they have, a starting 5 that's super capable. Then, I know they keep getting future picks. What happens? They land a Monty Bates or something like that. I mean, that's super reaching for it, but they should be atop of the Western Conference before we know it.
Yeah, they've got a great problem to have where they've just got a ton of assets. But Liam, you've got back-to-back picks here at number 7 with your Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where you go.
Yeah. So Carson and I both taking the Golden State Warriors, job over here. We're helping out Myers and the crew. So here at the 7th pick, there's a lot of ways you can go. I've seen Davion Mitchell being mocked. I don't really like it though. I feel like he's taking a lot of minutes from Steph. But, I think a guy, I love Jordan Poole out there. So we don't technically need another guard because I could see Book Knight being a guy here. But who I got mocked, I like Keon Johnson out of Tennessee, an uber athletic shooting guard, small forward with the same defensive potential, which is exactly what the Warriors need. Guy that they can groom him into his jump shot. And I think he fits perfect. He's a little bit of a frail frame, but like I said, one of the most athletic guys out there, kind of fills the role of what Kelly Oubre was doing for us. Or even if we trade Andrew Wiggins, he can fit in there as well. I just think it makes perfect sense. You don't have to have him in the backcourt to have that, backup backcourt with Jordan Poole and, a guy like Davion Mitchell or even Josh Giddey. So I'm taking Keon Johnson. You can run him at the backup 3. So you'd have a backup unit of Nico Mannion, Jordan Poole, Keon Johnson, Eric Paschall, and Kevon Looney, which I think would be one of the best bench backups in the league.
Our defensive potential, but I like now you sold me on the defensive potential because I think Book Knight would just be like him and Poole are just kind of like Spider-Man meme, like looking at each other,
Exactly.
Whereas
and I
Johnson,
think Manny, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say whereas Johnson, we, especially if Clay isn't gonna be as good of a defender as he was, which is highly likely just because he's coming off 2 massive surgeries and injuries. You definitely want someone that can, help fill in that void and, kind of add to, the 80 or 70% of Clay's defense and then have Keon Johnson be in there and be able to shut some guys down.
I think
you sold me on that.
If you can get him in 2 to 3 years to be like the backup that Andre Iguodala was on the Warriors, I think that's exactly what you're looking for. Even if it's like the starter level version, saying him to be Andre Iguodala, that's kind of, looking for high praise for a guy, did super well out there, with the Nuggets and the Sixers and stuff like that. Don't know if he was an all-star, but definitely all-star worthy player. But
one time.
Yeah, one time. So I'm rocking with Johnson. Should also help if Wiggins decides to depart. I think a guy that could step in there for the Warriors. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
And that leaves Carson with the Magic at number 8.
Yeah, so I was really looking at a couple really high upside guys, kind of projects, kind of like a Kaminga type. I was looking at Jalen Johnson, who I actually really like, but I think situation is key for him. And I think the Magic, who don't really know where they're going at all, is the worst fit for someone that, basically quit on his Duke team, despite, the massive potential that he offers. So probably not going to go with Johnson here, even though I like his potential. Moses Moody is another guy I really like, 6'6", great frame, he really good shooter. But I think if Book Knight's still on the board, I want, kind of instant scoring. And the Magic really need shooting badly, and they really need scoring. And I think Book Knight, if, the scouts are saying is one of the talented scorers, could fit like a CJ, maybe at best, a Bradley Beal type player. The shooting percentages in college scare me a little bit, but I think with the spacing, the spacing in the NBA is going to help him a lot more. And I'm just going to go with Book Knight because, him and Cole Anthony, I don't really like them defensively, but with Jonathan Isaac hopefully being healthy, now with Mobley, you have 2, defensive anchors that, you don't really have to defend as much in the guard position. You can just funnel them. You can funnel everything into those 2 guys. And Wendell Carter Jr. as well, I guess. So I'm just going to go with Book Knight because the Magic desperately needs some scoring and shooting, mainly shooting, but just scoring in general.
Yeah, so you pick Fultz or you pick Anthony to run the 1. You got Book Knight. You got to figure out who's running the 3. But you got Isaac and you got Bamba or Wendell Carter. I think it's a good option.
Mobley
yeah.
now.
Oh, no, sorry, Mobley. Yeah. So now they trade one of those guys to go out there and get a small forward. That'd be a nice team. They got to take some progression.
That's a solid core. Yeah, that's a solid core.
Yeah. All right. And that leaves me at number 9 with my Sacramento Kings pick. Sources have it that Buddy's probably on the way out. Bagley's probably on the way out. So we're gonna need a guy that can really play like off the rip because we do not have time. We cannot keep taking risks on these project type players that we can never develop. Which is why I hate the idea of taking, a guy like Alperen Şengün, who I actually really like as a prospect. I was watching some film on him last night. Turkish League MVP at 18.
Yeah.
And he's
He's
out
a
there hitting
bucket
moves
inside,
like,
bro.
yeah, he's out there hitting moves that like you want guys to be hitting by their like third, fourth year in the league. Crazy post scorer, but I do not think he fits our team at all. So for that reason, I'm going best fit available. I wanted Franz Wagner for a while, but I think it's hard for me to pass up on Moses Moody. I mean, he's got great shooting. He's gonna play off ball, which is what we need. He's gonna play, defense. He doesn't care about doing the dirty work. Is exactly what we need. He's probably gonna be, the third or fourth ball handler at all times because we've got Halliburton, we've got Fox, so he's just gonna go out there, run with those guys, play good defense, hit threes, and like the most important thing is he's gonna be able to be on the court, especially at the end of games, which Bagley cannot. So, yeah, that's the pick, Moses Moody.
I like Moody. He's one of my favorite prospects.
Can't go wrong. He's got the Mikal Bridges, projection, which I think is perfect. Perfect for the guys like the Kings. Just guys that can go out there, shoot threes, defend.
Yeah, really good shooter. Like he's like actually like really underrated as a shooter, I think.
Yeah, and we've never had a wing like that.
And turn that program around. By the way, they're really coming to come up. I think they just landed a couple guys in the transfer portal. I believe they landed Chris Likes, our former point guard for Miami. So may he do well.
Yeah.
Was Moody such a sick name? Like Moody on the back. I don't know. He's definitely not going to keep wearing number 5, but I don't know what number
he's gonna have to switch that around.
But yeah.
But I like him paired with the two, ball handlers with Halliburton and Fox because I think he kind of struggles a bit to create his own offense. But I mean, he won't have to do that as much with two, really good playmakers and creators in those two guards. So yeah, I really like this. I thought you were gonna go Wagner. I think Wagner is like a typical Kings pick, but I would be super hyped for you guys if you guys got.
I wouldn't be mad at Wagner either. A skilled guy that we could use, but Moody I feel like is a more like for sure pick that we cannot miss because we've missed too many times.
Yeah, feel that.
But number 11. Oh wait, number 10 is also my pick. The Memphis Grizzlies traded up to take Josh Giddey. I mean, do you guys really think
that's what a lot of mocks have been saying, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I don't know if that's exactly like the guy.
I mean, it makes some sense.
But like he's projected to be a backup then, because or else you play him at the 2, but like you already have D'Anthony Melton there, or you play Dylan Brooks there. It's a weird selection.
It's weird, but I've heard that they like him a lot. Obviously, we've seen the passing ability, incredible vision, but he's got a really skinny frame and he's really young. Really.
I want them to get a 3. I want them to get like a wing scorer.
He can play the 3 though. He's 6'8".
Yeah,
he can be Joe Ingles. Like Joe Ingles.
I think like the reports want him to be more like a point guard because he's so good, playmaking and stuff. But yeah, if he can fit into that 3, I'd love that. But yeah, I'd rather than get like a more traditional 3, I guess. But
I think he'll probably
slide him over secondary playmaker.
He's the same height as Cade Cunningham, just 15 pounds less.
Yeah,
which I feel like those 15 pounds is difference though, big difference.
It looks like more than 15, but
that's what it says here.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a limited shooter and he's got limited scoring ability. I don't know how he's really going to fit with this team that well. I would have rather seen them take a hyper athletic guy that's just going to go out there and run, jump out the gym with Ja and Triple J.
Hey, you don't know
Uh,
yet. Hey, we won't know until tomorrow. Then
Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
they
yeah.
are getting
That's
Giddy.
true. Yeah. Maybe they're not even taking Giddy at all. And maybe it's just a bunch of smoke screens to trick, someone like the Kings to fall in love with Giddy and take him at 9
Yeah.
before the Grizzlies can take him. So I don't know, man.
I'd go crazy if they took him. That would make no sense. They already
I
have
would
great ball
jump off a
handlers.
bridge. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, a lot of things are resting on tomorrow, but Franz Wagner is the only other guy I would be okay with. That's it.
Nice.
But number
Yeah.
11, Chol, you got the Hornets pick. They've got a solid little youth movement going over there.
Yep.
A lot of guys, a lot of wings.
Yeah.
Too much wings, in my opinion.
A lot of guards. Just guards.
They got Rozier, they got Ball, they got Devontae Graham, they got Gordon Hayward, they got Miles Bridges, they got the Martin brothers, which are solid. I mean, they got Malik Monk, which is probably going to leave in free agency, I'd assume, because it's such a crowded backcourt. Yeah. So I don't think they got to go big, but what are you doing, Carson?
Yeah, I mean, I really I was thinking that too, and I wanted to go big, but I just can't. There's not really enough guys that there's not really enough like big men I like to warrant like a lottery pick, because big men you can find, there's always guys. There's always like, buyout guys. Like if you want a big that just like a rim running big or like a vertical threat, there's a ton of those guys out there. So that's why I don't necessarily want to use like a lottery pick on them. I mean, like Sengun's probably the best prospect, but even Sengun, it's like I don't know if he fits, because the Hornets are like a run and gun team out in transition. Sengun just doesn't really fit that much. So I don't know, man. Maybe I seem like, I mean, a guy like a Kai Jones or like someone like that, but I just don't know if I want to take them that high. So I might actually take another wing, someone that like, I mean, you can never have enough shooting, and I think someone that plugs in, right away with LaMelo, that can, slash. He can, he's an amazing 3-point shooter. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kispert here and add to the wings, because I think, he'll be able to play right away, and he'll just come off the bench and give you buckets, and he fits perfectly with LaMelo. So
he needs to spend.
He's Hayward insurance. He's Hayward insurance basically, because Hayward he's bound to get injured. So
he needs to spend every waking moment in practice with Gordon Hayward, because if he's Gordon Hayward, that's a home run pick. Because they fit each other's mold so well. I mean, I feel like Kispert's
not just because they're white, by the way. It's not just because they're both two white guys, but they have very similar play styles.
Yeah, they're both 3-level scorers. 3-level scorers that aren't really like super athletic, jump out the gym. I mean, and
but
they're not really great defenders.
They're sneaky athletic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they played for small programs. Like Gonzaga's still a small program, regardless. They're not a powerhouse, Power 5 school.
They're on the way though.
And Butler. I mean,
hey,
Butler,
who knows?
I mean, both teams made the championship. So
yeah, true.
And both teams lost.
Yeah, I just like the fact that Kispert doesn't like need the ball. Like, I mean, like Graham, Rozier, they both need the ball, but with LaMelo, who should be running offense, it's just a perfect fit alongside LaMelo, where Kispert doesn't need the ball. He can just run around screens all day, just spot up for 3, and I think it's just a good fit. And like I said, like the Hayward insurance is there 100% because he's bound to get injured too.
Yeah. Who knows? With conferences kind of ditching geography, could we see Gonzaga in the Pac-12?
Who knows? That'd be awesome. I'd like it.
Yeah,
but it only be for basketball. Yeah, for basketball.
Technically, the geography fits, but yeah,
sure does. The rivalry with UCLA would be crazy.
Yep,
because they'd still have it from that game.
Yep.
And they already got another matchup this season. Like it's building.
Hope Oregon joins the SEC, bro.
Oh my God, they gotta rename the conferences at that point.
Bro, conferences don't mean shit anymore. It's just gonna put the best brands in the best league, like make the most money.
Super League.
It's like a couple of months ago there was rumors of like a soccer like Super Euro League where all the teams just join like the same league and do not play like
it was
the
this
Champions
close.
League. It was close.
Yeah.
And that could happen with college now. I mean, players are are now allowed to make money, imagine how, playing, Oregon versus LSU every other weekend would be like.
Y'all
So,
don't want that though.
hey, I think we do, bro. I do. To go watch that, like,
Oh
to be
yeah,
able
yeah,
to just
yeah,
like to go watch like
yeah.
fucking us match up against Nick Saban and then
No one
next week
wants to
go
face
against
Bama. I don't want to face Bama, bro. We got them week 1.
dude, I don't care. I just want to go out there and watch a good game.
We're beating Bama though, so it's fine. Fuck the
Dude,
SEC.
Oregon's a sleeper this year, bro. No cap.
You see Justin Flo get like 20 sacks.
If he can stay on the fucking field.
Same thing with Thibodeau.
Yeah. What are we even at now? Oh, 12.
Spurs.
Yeah,
Spurs,
12 pick.
yeah.
Spurs. Liam, you.
Do I make the pick? No, do I
Go
do the
ahead.
obvious? Do I do the obvious?
Give your spiel. Who?
Do I do
Sengun?
do I do the obvious pick? And take
Sengun?
Segun?
I
I actually think it's not that. I honestly don't think it's that bad of a pick.
it's
You
not.
know, a guy that a really good, talented foreign big man, and that's what they need. I don't really think
They
Jacob
Jazz
Pirtle.
need a big man. Yeah, Pirtle's
like-
not it. They need a big man.
Yeah, Pirtle's not it. I mean, Keldon Johnson's their 4 at this point, so they got to have a guy that's really like big that can dominate out there. Because Kai Jones doesn't flash me as a guy that's a dominant big. Like Kai Jones is Miles Turner, or Jackson Hayes, and I don't have anything wrong with those guys, but that's not what this team's looking for. They're looking for their next Tim Duncan or just another dominant big man, because that's what Tim Duncan and David Robinson are. I don't think Sengun has the potential to do that. I mean, who knows? I'm gonna look back on this and I look stupid because he's Hakeem Olajuwon 2.0. But I mean, they need a guy that just go out there, dominate on the boards. I think he does have to bulk up a little bit, which is why it's a little concerning, because maybe they would just go center in the later rounds, get a guy like Charles Bassey out of Western Kentucky, a guy I just mentioned earlier that I love as a prospect. So I don't know.
I like him. I really like him. He's only 18, so he hasn't even grown into his man body yet. Like this dude, once he really like comes into his own frame, he is gonna be legit, like Vucevic type shit. And it's crazy because I mean, defensively, they're saying he's a liability, but like you don't have to be Joel Embiid, bro. You just have to be able to hold it down and like not give up more than you're putting up.
All right, so he turned 19 3 days ago. So yeah, he's freshly 19, just there. Like I said, the size got to get there, but you can always bulk up. I think like we've seen Giannis. We saw Giannis had a huge transformation. Obviously, that's a huge one. But I mean, like look at a guy like Boris Diaw was drafted as a guard and he ended his career as a forward. I'll do the pick. I'll take Alperen Sengun. I'll go away from what I have on my big board on my mock. I think it's got you do fit here. You can never go wrong with best fit. So I'm taking Alperen Sengun out of Turkey, I believe, 6'9" power forward center who showed a lot of promise. Turkish League MVP. Like you said, at the young age of 18. So that will be my pick for the Spurs.
Solid pick. The most Spurs pick ever.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and like the Spurs play with like a pretty slow pace anyways, so I think it like maximizes his potential.
Yeah.
They got a lot of young, fast guards, though, that I think they can really, change it around for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they have the opportunity to play with pace, but I just don't think that's.
Oh, no.
Pop's,
Yeah.
Pop's thing.
Which leaves me with the 13th overall pick now with the Pacers. I was planning on taking Corey Kispert. Obviously he's gone now. So there's a few routes I could go here. Jalen Johnson's still on the board. Trey Murphy, a guy that's climbed up a lot of draft boards. Have you guys heard of Usman Garuba? Have you guys watched film on him?
No, but I've heard of his name.
Yeah,
he's out of Spain.
Yeah. Crazy fast, bro. Like,
oh, really?
Crazy fast. Like, he's like 6'8", 6'9". And, once they get that turnover, like, he's gone. He's on the other side of the court, like, out the frame, bro. Like,
I was thinking about him because he's like the prototypical player to like. I was thinking about him with that Hornets pick, but I just don't
Mhm.
I just don't know enough about him. That's why I just like didn't warrant that. But like the
Yeah.
type of like I'm reading up on him a little bit now. Like he that fit like would be pretty nice in Charlotte too.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got huge bust potential though. Like this dude averaged 5 points and he can't shoot free
Exactly.
throws. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
but
exactly. But there's guys.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's plenty of guys like him. That's why I didn't necessarily want to take him because you can find a Garuba in a lot of different places.
yeah. But
But hey,
yeah, I think
we haven't talked about one of the probably the best players on the board, at least, who will produce immediately, Davion Mitchell, a guy who people mocked at number 7 overall at some points in this draft.
I don't know about him, dude.
I might
mean,
get
he's 22. He's 22. He's like 5'11. You know, he's gonna have to do a lot out there to really produce. He's gonna have to, I mean, we see what how much Trae Young, puts his body on the line, how much he does just to produce. It's like not even that
But
efficient.
I mean, he showed like his motor is like, and his athleticism is like ridiculous. Yeah. So if anyone can do it, I believe in him to be able to do that.
But I think I'm gonna take Franz Wagner. I like him with the Pacers. They need a forward.
Who'd you take for the? I'm sorry. Who'd you take with the Grizzlies pick then?
Giddey.
Giddey.
You took Giddey? Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Franz Wagner is really a Doug McDermott plus replacement. I think he's got obviously more of a ceiling than Doug McDermott because I think he's out of his way of Indiana.
Yeah, and I think he's NBA ready. I mean, he's a skilled NBA player. He's going to be, really good in transition as a roller. His best asset is his defense. He's going to be on the floor in clutch time, and he's just a solid like piece to add. And nothing huge, doesn't jump off the board, but solid player, can't go wrong.
Yeah, I really like this pick. I think if Wagner's like doesn't get to Indiana and they're not able to take him, I would really like them to take a chance on like Jalen Johnson or Zaire Williams. I just really want the Pacers to get like a 6'8", 6'9", like wing, like scoring wing that has defensive potential. Like I just think like that's
Paul George.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Franz Wagner also allows for them to go small because we were talking about Twin Towers earlier with Mobley and Jared Allen. Those are some real Twin Towers out there that they have with, Domantas Sabonis and Miles Turner. And especially, with teams, we saw what they did to Gobert. I mean, obviously Miles Turner's a good defender, but, Sabonis and him aren't like the quickest of guys. So, to be able to have the ability, late in crunch time, you throw one of those guys, probably Sabonis being the starter out there. Alongside, a guy like Franz Wagner, it gives them the ability, more switchability because that's everything the defensive. I mean, that's all NBA is now. You got to have defenses that can switch. I think it's a perfect pick. A team that's kind of stuck in mediocrity right now. They really got to hope that Karis LeVert can be the star that takes them to the next level. I really do believe in him. I think they got to keep it with Malcolm Brogdon. TJ Warren's still a solid scorer. A really interesting team, though, but I think Franz Wagner is a really solid pick, a guy that can produce immediately for them. Kind of what they wish TJ Leaf was for them.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So the very last pick in the lottery, the Golden State Warriors. What are the odds you guys think at least one of these picks get traded?
I think I think we get traded down from 7. I think someone jumps us up at 7, and we'll trade down there. That's such a Warriors thing. I feel like.
Yeah, I think it's very likely. I just can't even like. It's tough for me to even see them drafting at both of these picks. Like I just feel like definitely at least one of them will get traded.
I don't think a big star is going to get traded, though. That's my hot take. I don't think it will happen tomorrow night. It'll be traded later in the offseason, I think. But every single year, there's always a guy that gets talked about that's going to get traded, and it never happens. I'd love to see it. I'd love to be wrong on this take, but
when's the last time we had like a big draft night trade, like Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler? Was that the last like big draft night trade?
Yeah, and that was like, it happened draft night. But no.
Yeah, that was like 3-4 years ago. And then the Wiggins one, that's like really the only other.
That happened after, though. That was after the fact.
Yeah, it was like later.
It was?
I think the biggest trade that's happened on a draft, I think, was the 3-5 swap with Luka Doncic and Trae Young. With hindsight,
Yeah.
that's the biggest trade that's happened in the last couple
That's
of years.
that is huge
Definitely.
though. That's huge.
Because they're both big prospects, though. Like, regardless
Yeah.
of the fact.
Yeah. Imagine how much like the course of the NBA changes if that trade doesn't happen.
Oh, crazy! I think Luca with the Hawks arguably could have made the finals.
Yeah.
Capitalized
Probably.
on Giannis's injury.
Probably.
No, probably. Yeah, they would have capitalized on Giannis's injury. No
Um,
disrespect to trade though, but it's just like
Oh yeah, no disrespect at all.
either way, the
trade
Kings
balled
would have
out.
still taken Bagley.
Yeah, still would have done it.
So what you doing 14, Carson?
Yeah, what you got?
Man, I'm going back and forth on either Mitchell. I really like Mitchell. I think him falling this far is like actually like actually a steal because I mean he's been ranked anywhere as like top 6 or top 7 as a prospect. I also really like Trey Murphy, like someone that I mean he's a little bit older, but he can come in like right away, like 6'7", knock down shots. He's just like a really good 3-and-D guy, and like that's exactly the type of player that every team wants and needs. So it's tough because I like Mitchell a lot as like the backup point guard. Just he's able to get you buckets and he'll be able to play really really good defense on like the star guards in the West, whether it's like the Dames, the Murrays. Like I really like him being able to defend those guys. But then Murphy, it's like can't have enough 3-and-D guys. So this is tough. This is really really tough.
A Warriors guy I could see though is Chris Duarte. If you want to play Jordan Poole at the 1, I think Duarte fits a Warriors mold as being a shooter.
100%.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about him too. I think Murphy's just like a better version of that. Or maybe not
Murphy's
better,
more
but
of
like
he's a stretch 4. Yeah.
More upside. Yeah. Wow, this is really tough. I don't really like Poole being the 1. I don't really like him as like a creator. I like him as like just a scorer. So I think I'm gonna go with Mitchell and just add that like intensity and defense off the bench. I mean the size a little concerning, but I mean the kid's got so much heart and like so much hustle and motor. So that cancels out I think the height to me. So I'm gonna go with Davion Mitchell.
There's a downside to every prospect besides Cade Cunningham, in my opinion, in this draft.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like Mitchell makes up for it in like so many ways. And I mean, you saw like, in the championship game, like he was everywhere. And so like, I like that about him. So it's tough. Like Murphy, those guys, I really like them, but like Mitchell, like having him as like our second unit point guard is like really, really enticing. And he'll be able to play right away.
He measures out at 6'1" and a quarter in shoes and a 6'4" and a quarter wingspan. So not too small.
They're definitely adding a couple. They're definitely adding a couple.
This was at the combine. It was 6 foot with no shoes on, barefoot.
Ooh.
But hey,
yeah, I like his on-ball defensive potential. I love that about him, though. Yeah. I don't care. Like he's small, but I mean he's so fast.
Yeah, I mean against other guards, he'll probably be fine.
And his drive, like how fast he is with his first step driving the basket, is just only going to open it up. Like his, attacking the rim is just going to open up our shooters so much. So I love that.
Shout out to Short Kings though.
Shout out.
Yeah, see, that's what we're not slandering the Short Kings. We're taking. He's joined the Warriors. I'm taking Mitchell.
Hey,
you know why he wears 45?
Yeah, he's Donovan. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's little brother. I mean, damn, how would you not want this guy?
Hey, let's see what's about to happen next, as they say on NBA and TNT.
Yeah, as they say every commercial on NBA and TNT.
No, but do you really know why he wears 45?
No.
It's because Donovan Mitchell's his favorite player.
That's actually dope. That's dope.
Literally why.
That's sick. He literally.
You know what's wild? You know what's wild? They're only 2 years apart, but Davion Mitchell graduated high school when Donovan Mitchell got drafted.
Wow.
Yep. So he went through all of college watching Donovan Mitchell like already in the league.
That's us, sick. The Carson.
Yeah.
Just a year older.
Wait, so he's only 1 year. Wow, that's sick.
Well, one grade, yeah. Oh, it's going to be a huge one. Do we see any trades tomorrow night? I don't think so.
knows?
I think we see people. The number one pick's not getting traded. The Pistons failed their franchises. They do that. Who knows? I think the most realistic trade, I think 7 is the first pick that could get traded. I think could be in a trade down. A team coming to trade up to, maybe a guy falls in the draft like a Kuminga. Who knows?
I'm really interested to see who the Grizzlies who is really that guy for them, because I mean they traded up.
Yeah.
They must have really loved someone.
I want to
Or
see
maybe the Grizzlies package and like get a higher pick. Like maybe this was like the first step of a 2-parter where they use this 10th pick and then go up a little bit more. Because I'm really interested to see that as well. Because they had to have done it for a certain player.
Oh yeah, but I'm trying to think. There's going to be one guy that rises up the draft board that we're going to look at. We're like, who is it? Because there's always a guy that goes in the lottery that we're like, huh? Like how they end up.
I could see Trey Murphy hopping into like early lottery.
That's not like too surprising to me though. Like that wouldn't be like drop my jaw. I feel like
maybe like Sharif Cooper.
Now I feel like Jalen Johnson. Yeah, Cam Thomas. I feel like Jalen Johnson's a guy that could go like 8 and everyone would be like, what?
Dude, he averaged 20. He's 20-11 and he shot 44% from 3 in his small sample size of Duke. Like to me, he's like the Michael Porter Jr. like of this draft. Like he just has to get the right fit because like the quitting on the character, quitting on the team that concerns me a little bit. But I think teams that are like well structured, like Pacers, Spurs, Warriors, like teams like that are in the lottery that are like, proven teams already, like with good coaching, like those are the teams that I would see taking a chance on him.
Yeah.
I was like
who's
him
the guy
on the
you
Kings.
think could fall out?
Nah.
No.
Who falls out?
Mitchell.
Yeah, who falls
Mitchell.
out?
Kispert. I can see
Mitchell?
Kispert falling.
Yeah.
Or honestly,
Probably
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Mitchell could maybe.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think there's trying to think of like a glaring weakness that everyone's scared of. I mean, Barnes does, but I think Barnes is too talented around the other aspects of the ball.
Yeah.
I can see Keon Johnson falling. People just not caring about athleticism. Like thinking
he's not going to fall out of the lottery, but I think Kuminga could fall as like he could fall to like 8.
Yeah. I can see. I've seen that.
Yeah. I also not like falling out or anything, but just another prospect that I really love, Zaire Williams.
Didn't really get a shot to show his skill, but he's definitely a guy that could surprise a lot of people. I think he's a guy that like he's going to end up at like the Lakers, like 27th or whatever overall.
Oh, if I'm the Lakers, I would be ecstatic about that. Like, I just like the fact like he's super smart. Like, and he didn't get to show much at Stanford, but I mean, he was like top high school prospect. Like, he was killing it on Sierra Canyon. Like, I just super young too.
You know who I really like? Second round guy.
Who?
Josh Christopher.
Same. I love Jake. Shout out Jacob. I saw him in person. Long Beach guy. Well, I don't know if he's actually from Long Beach, but he played in Long Beach for high school. Dude, I'm all in on Christopher. I hope like someone like he worked out for the Nuggets. That would be sick. I would love to see him on the Nuggets.
Yeah,
I also really like Jaden Springer, big guard.
Yeah, he's a good one too. I think Greg Brown's also a really explosive forward guy. I think he's later in the rounds as well. But yeah.
Isaiah Todd has a ton. He's like a Jalen Johnson where it's like some red flags, just like development wise, but he has like that all-star like potential.
Yeah.
Just like with
JT Thor
skill set.
JT Thor's a guy I've seen a lot of people liking.
Yeah.
And I think Brandon Boston, give this boy a chance.
Dude averaged 5 blocks, bro, and shot 30% from 3.
5 blocks?
5 blocks. Half of his points.
Wait. No, he didn't average 5 blocks. JT Thor?
Oh, wait, I'm reading it wrong. That says rebounds. I'm an idiot.
I was like, this Nerlens Noel, bro.
It's right next to blocks, but still 1.5 blocks. Okay.
Yeah, so good. And I like Wisenkamp out of Iowa. He showed me a lot as a scorer on the perimeter. I think he's like a Carson Edwards sleeper that could be a good guard coming right into the league as a junior out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl, I really like him too. Like kind of like a stretch four guy, a little small but like super smart. He can play in the playoffs like as like a 7th, 8th man. Yeah, I like Boston too. I think Boston has like way too much like little Ingram. Like he's like Ingram with like a better 3-point shot.
But hey,
All right. Well,
hey, let's take our bet though. Is Kuzma getting traded for like us the 60th overall pick?
as long as he don't go to the Kings, I don't care, bro. But the thing is, like, they've released rumors that the Lakers called up every single team.
Oh yeah,
Offering Kuzma and KCP, and everyone said, "Nah, we're good."
Dude, his stock is like even worse than like Ben Simmons. Well,
no,
Ben
you have
Simmons
to.
bad.
I would
bad.
trade their first round pick with Kuzma to dump him.
I mean, you kind of have to.
As bad as it sounds.
You kind of have to. It's bad. Like Kuzma, nobody wants Kuzma right now.
He's
KCP's like
garbage.
not even that bad. Like honestly, I would
Nah,
rather have
KCP's not bad. He was
I would rather have
like
KCP.
third best player on that championship team at points.
Yeah.
Yep. Him and Rondo were like switch off. It's like the third best player.
Rondo. Yeah, but that's Rondo, one of the goats.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
that's gonna
I
do it
would-
for our. What?
I was just gonna say I would want KCP on my team. Shit.
Yeah, should. Not on the Kings though.
Nah,
But-
okay.
Not on the Kings. But yeah, that's gonna do it for our NBA mock draft. We'll probably live stream tomorrow night. Stay tuned. We'll post it on our socials. Be sure to follow us at Coast2Coast Podcast. Stay tuned. This is Coast2Coast Podcast signing out. Peace.